Welcome to the news, by the way. This is the sound of people turning into molecules of light and people turning into elements of energy that are swirling and spinning around the world every single day. Yeah, this is called the Global Philanthropy Energy Grid. In essence, it's a depiction of what we like to refer to as the Global Philanthropy Energy Grid. Yeah. So the purpose of mentioning things this way a little bit is a little bit of a different transition. It's a transposition of how to conceptualize the Global Philanthropy Energy Grid as opposed to something that needs to be built. In this instance, it's something that's already built. Yeah. Because as technology sort of unfolds, and as, like, quantum computing, for example, becomes something that's a little bit more prevalent in life, these types of things are able to transition and transpose our energy as people in existence, as people in human energy in essence, and at the same time animals as well. It's giving them all credit for being alive and giving everybody in the system credit for their life form and their life forces as existing humans and animals as well. That we're able to transpose these energies into computer configurations that in essence are able to co-inhabitate a certain transactional relationship with light type of energy. It's like light energy that's transacting in a corresponding interactive way that in essence develops a corresponding readout to a certain aspect of light that sort of connects with quantum computing, more or less, where we're able to quantify human energy in essence and develop characteristics and characteristic trait readouts upon every human energy that in essence corresponds to maybe kind of like in a universe system and like a universal corresponding essence of how like the stars are aligned with each other and sort of have like a gravitational relationship with one another. That this, in essence, can be the transposition of humans in the connection with and the connectivity with quantum energy and quantum mechanical computing configurationing connectivity to humans and humanity, more or less, which also is something that's kind of interesting in terms of being able to try to develop connections with other humans and other humanity elements of other parts of the world, more or less, to be able to sort of go directly to, like, certain people that you'll be able to get along with. For example, yeah. So also at the same time, it could develop, like, more or less an ability to be able to find your people, find your tribe, find people that you like to hang out with, and also that you like to play with. More or less in adult world, in essence, the one thing that we've been trying to always talk about, more or less, is Dink Tech and Dinky Tech Transfer Game Studios as a company and a brand. He's trying to be able to play as adults. So in essence, finding other people to be able to play with is in essence part of the process and part of the program for being able to leverage all of the world in all of the energy in the world as human energy and be able to ride the different energies that correspond to different people and different people's journeys that they're taking, that they're on, that are part of their different readouts, that are part of their different chemical readouts on these quantum computing configurations, in essence, sort of like a LinkedIn profile or like a social media profile, more or less, that has a configuration that has to do with people's trajectories, where they're going, where they've been, what they're up to, in essence, and you can align with this energy just like riding on a comet, jumping on the back of a comet as it's sailing through the sky. And you get to ride on that energy more or less, like, because you want to play with that energy. You want to be able to play with a person who has this corresponding energy that you want to find within the world. So this is like marketing fast-tracked in the future, more or less, by just being able to look at the whole world as energy and being able to read all the people on it as energy and being able to connect and ride alongside them in a fun way and be able to have fun with people and be able to play with people and have fun in this fashion by being able to leverage the Global Philanthropy Energy Grid, because all humans are connected in the Global Philanthropy Energy Grid, and this therefore allows people to be able to find people that they align with and they're akin with and they're akin to, and that they can be friends with, and that they can play games with, and this allows for more of a fluid, dynamic world where our energies are able to coalesce and find happiness in a more unique, and aligned in an instantaneous fashion. Whoa, and we could just align with different people on their journeys and their destinations, which also corresponds to entrepreneurship and solving different problems around the world with different people to be able to try to ride these comets that are corresponding to different problems that are able to be solved by finding friends doing similar things, yeah. Excuse me, that's the first sneezes of the podcast. Ever before, I should have pushed pause, but I didn't do it. So we've got sneezes on the podcast now. And anyways, all of these podcasts in the past at the same time are like little cookbooks we've made this podcast into like a cookbook in essence, which is how I explained it earlier today, at least, is like a cookbook. So every single day, it's kind of like a mindset that you can wear. It's like you can program or install this mindset, kind of like a cookbook. It's a different recipe to be able to just wear that mindset for a temporary time while listening to this podcast, I suppose you could say, and leveraging the ability to be able to use it like a cookbook in your own brain, to be able to leverage the ingredients and either take or leave some ingredients to be able to cook whatever you want with these ingredients that are conceptually leveraging whatever the energy and the purpose of Dinky Tech and Change for Games Studios, Dinky Tech, Change for Games, is trying to go, and how it unfolds, and how this energy unfolds, so that it's like inspiration of a cookbook in essence, so that like the corresponding journalism to Ding Tech Change for Games is corresponding to like a cookbook. So every day is like a different program where you can wear the process, you can take or leave certain ingredients, and you could have the ability to be able to leverage the potential interest for the growth and the potential focus and the potential trajectory of Ding Tech and Change for Games Studios as we continue to try to grow the company and brand, and kind of sort of also try to move to Asia, in the direction of Asia shortly, hopefully soon enough, so that we're ultimately able to try to unfold a little bit more so of our energy as a company energy that is able to try to correspond to Hong Kong energy. And at the same time, we're also, speaking of cookbooks, trying to leverage maybe the conceptualization of developing like a microgreens factory, like developing like something where we can farm microgreens, for example, to be able to try to sell to Hong Kong and or Japan or whatever, and then to just be able to try to continue to leverage cash flow, to be able to try to continue to develop the continuous facilitation of the unfolding of differing energy, to be able to continue to reinvest into the global philanthropy energy grid, and to be able to reinvest dividends, and to be able to find new ways of investing with new interesting partnerships, to be able to find new collaborations, to be able to continue to have unfolding, compounding, differing collaborations of sorts. And at the same time, as we were talking about computational connectivity, why making everybody in the world as comets, like comet energy that's all flying around based on their destinations and their focuses and their goals and their entrepreneurship personas that are buried deep within themselves, that is able to come out and to be able to surface with all of this light energy, connecting with the computational energy. It is able to quantify all human beings in the world as different aspects of energy. That this then therefore helps us align, with the ability to, in essence, conceptualize how to configure the differing energies that have to do with, I forgot my line. That's also one of the times that the first time it's happened in the podcast as well. That's why I called it out, because it was just something unique to be able to add to this process and this methodology of a podcast, which is nothing anyways to begin with. After all, so we're just trying to focus on the current focus after all, which is, what are we trying to go for? Well, I'll just skip to the last part, which is that, in essence, that to be able to become like an individual investor, you in essence need to develop a style. So it's similar to Skrillex. Skrillex, the music producer person, who's one of the first people in Los Angeles that I was able to follow back in the day of just trying to develop music. And Los Angeles music, by the way, is a unique type of music. It's called something actually called Los Angeles music by someone named Gaslamp Killer. He's a DJ, and he labeled the term Los Angeles music, which in essence is very similar to the Gaslamp Killer music. But there was also a whole crew of different people that were different DJs that he corresponded to back in those days. It was around 2013, maybe 2014 approximately. I don't know. But anyways, nonetheless, that corresponds to Skrillex, which is also from LA, Los Angeles, and therefore this style, which he referred to upon seeing him speak at the Grammys a little bit recently, in terms of just an interview at the Grammys recently, and this is where he said that you have to isolate yourself a little bit. You have to isolate yourself a little bit to develop your strategy, and it's the same thing, which is a music strategy more or less, and it's the same thing in essence is what I'm talking about now, to be able to try to surface your corresponding business music strategy, your business music strategy, which has to do with getting quiet, getting super quiet with meditation, and then also reconfiguring how to align with that strategy by being able to pull that out through meditation, being able to pull out that focus through taste. It's actually a matter of taste, by being able to just be quiet, not think about competition, not think about too much about what other people are doing and why you're not as good as other people necessarily, but being able to be quiet and listen through your taste, like what sounds good, in essence, what sounds good, like a good investing strategy more or less. And then aligning with those people, aligning with those things, and having the ability to leverage, always be willing to lose everything that you want to invest, so that you're able to play the game with your fullest focus and your full heart, to be able to leave it on the field, so that you align with certain strategies that speak to you like business music. So you develop your own business music DJing style. So everybody has their own business music DJing style, which in essence is an investing profile. It's an investing internal universal sort of solar system alignment type of a process that spiritual finance in essence is. That's what spiritual finance in essence is. It's business music DJing. Business music DJing by leveraging the universe, leveraging being very quiet and listening to the subtleties of the universe that speak to you in different ways, that also call out to your intuition in terms of what speaks to your taste in terms of your investing strategy. And you have to take notes, similar to making taking notes on different interesting sounds that you're able to listen to in terms of listening to music, and then continue to take notes on what those are to be able to compile different sounds to be able to then generate your own sounds from those sounds that you have good taste from, to be able to compile all of those into a compilation into your own music. And this, in essence, is a business music investing strategy development of a similar way to be able to develop music in a similar way to develop music through taste. It's developing business music through taste and investing strategies. Yeah. So you got to immerse yourself in the investing worlds at the same time and be able to connect to different financial companies to be able to develop this taste and dig a little bit deeper, but also connect to the spirits and connect to the universal energy in the universe to be able to find your path to be able to align with an investing energy process. And that at the same time corresponds to and speaks to an entrepreneurship process and a marketing process and things that you want to sell. Because if you're following companies and you want to invest in companies, certain companies that you respect and such things, then corresponding to developing marketing processes and developing sales and promoting similar energies that correspond to philanthropy energy, which corresponds to solving problems in the world, which corresponds to development and invention, can also be something that can follow in the footsteps of investing and finding that business music investment path. Yeah. So to conclude and round out this podcast, we'll just shed a little bit of light on the last little concept which we were referring to, which has to do with the methodology that corresponds to finding subsidies by doing philanthropy energy in life. In essence, when you're on the track of doing everything for yourself, if you have a job and then you go home and then you do one thing to another, you can do interesting things. You can take a subsidy, like you can take tax subsidies out of getting income. For example, if you have the ability to be able to correspond to a government, you get a tax subsidy, you get a tax credit in essence. So in essence, what I'm talking about and making reference to that is like in life, there's in spiritual finance, like a spiritual finance subsidy. A spiritual finance subsidy corresponds to not cash, not a monetary energy subsidy, but it has to do with doing good for people, and it allows you to have interesting experiences. You get interesting experiences. You go out of your path. You go off the beaten path by just going to do good for people. You go out of your beaten path, and it's like if you were just doing everything for monetary energy for yourself to get self-gain, to go in your car from one place to another to be able to get monetary energy and make reward, and then go home and then do things for yourself that continue to spin and sustain a self-perpetuating process, then it's less fulfilling than having philanthropy energy. When you're pursuing philanthropy, when you can take subsidies in life, it's spiritual finance subsidies, which causes more fun, more entertainment, more interesting encounters, and more playful encounters, because you're helping other people play and you're causing other happiness and other joy for other people. So therefore, it causes you to have the joy and to be more playful as well. So it's like a spiritual finance subsidy. Doing philanthropy, doing good deeds, doing philanthropy and doing philanthropy energy good deeds causes spiritual finance subsidies, which equals more fun, more happiness, more gains in terms of fulfillment and reward. That's a spiritual finance subsidy. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to meet you guys out in the new world in the future in this computational crazy quantum field that is surrounding us all. And we're going to try to also start making maybe some microgreens to be able to try to make the world a healthier place in terms of eating food and such things. Anyways, that's all. Bye, Ding Tech, bye, peace, bye. Ding Tech change for games. Ding Tech change for Game Studios. Bye, peace, bye.